What if the person standing between you and healing isn't your partner, your boss, or your family, but the face staring back at you in the mirror? Today, we're crossing that threshold where excuses end and transformation begins. Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the LiftOneSelf podcast. I'm your host, Nat Nat. Today, we're diving into the turning point that transforms healing, which is standing at the mirror's edge, when you stop blaming others and face your own reflection. If this is your first time here, welcome home. This community is built on radical honesty and compassionate growth. If something resonates, take that quick second to like, share, and drop a comment. Your engagement creates ripples reaching someone who needs this message today. Remember, healing isn't selfish, it's revolutionary. Your inner work disrupts generational patterns, transforming everyone in your orbit. Remember, we're feeling bodies that think. We transfer energy. There comes a moment in your healing journey when we finally stop pointing fingers and turn that energy inward. That's the mirror's edge. It's where the real work begins and where most people turn back. I've stood at this edge myself, staring into that reflection and thinking, well, damn, I had to face my own BS, both my belief systems and the actual BS those beliefs created. These invisible systems aren't just theoretical. They're the architects of your daily experience, determining your reaction, relationships, and resilience. Let me ask you, what story keeps replaying in your life? For years, I was the queen of if only. If only my partner would see how I was feeling and communicate better. If only my friends would respect my boundaries. If only everyone else would get their ish together, then I could finally be whole. Sound familiar? That's the thing about human pain. It's tragically universal. Yet, here's the truth bomb I discovered. In every painful pattern, the common denominator wasn't them, it was me. Your triggers are your teachers, showing you where you need to heal, not where others need to change. My wounds were dictating my reactions before I even opened my mouth. Let me share two examples from my life that transformed how I show up in relationships. First, my relationship with my mom. For years, I'd leave our conversations feeling misunderstood and judged. I built this narrative that if only she would stop criticizing my choices, if only she would see me as the adult I've become, then our relationship could flourish. I was constantly defensive, armored for battle before she even spoke. I'd rehearse comebacks before family gatherings and replay our conversations afterward, fuming about what she said. Sound familiar? That ruminating can drive us bonkers. The mirror moment happened during a particularly tense interaction. She commented on my parenting, and I felt the familiar fire rising. Yet something shifted when I caught my reflection in the window, literally seeing myself in this pattern. In that reflection, I saw the truth. I was showing up already wounded, already armored. I was hearing criticism even in neutral questions because I was filtering everything through my unhealed need for her approval. That night, I chose curiosity instead of defense. I asked questions about her concerns. I listened, like really listened, for the love beneath her words. Our relationship didn't transform overnight, yet I did. And those triggers, they still get activated. Yet I reclaim responsibility for my emotional well-being. I started showing up as the adult I claimed to be, setting boundaries with compassion instead of resentment, which is warrior work. Because when that little Natalie wants to take a temper tantrum, boy, it takes a lot to, calm her down. The second example came from my workplace. I had a colleague who constantly interrupted me in meetings. Each time it happened, I'd seethe with frustration, thinking, if only they would respect me enough to let me finish. The pattern continued for months until I realized, with the help of a trusted friend, that I wasn't advocating for myself. I wasn't speaking with the confidence that commanded respect. Instead, I was unconsciously using hesitant language and apologetic tones, creating space for interruption. Once I recognized my role in this dynamic, I changed how I communicated. I practiced speaking with clarity and conviction. When interruption happened, I calmly yet firmly said, I'd like to finish my thought. The change wasn't controlling their behavior, it was about owning my power. I also allowed myself to sit in the pause of listening. I allowed them to speak, and then I'd meet them with silence so that they could actually see themselves a bit. These examples illustrate a fundamental principle. Unhealed trauma is the space where you feel unsafe to feel your emotions. It's where you constantly blame others rather than face your own feelings. Your accusations are your mirror. So I know that in sharing some of these stories, some of you might be thinking, that's great for you, Nat Nat, but my situation is different. Or you might be wondering, well, why is it that they're allowed to get away with all of the stuff? I see you. I honor your pain. What others did was on them, not on you. But how you heal from it, that's your sacred power. This isn't about self blame. Let me be crystal clear. Accountability without compassion is just another form of self abandonment. And we've done enough of that already, haven't we? This is about power, real power. When you're stuck narrating what others do to you, you're handing over the pen to your own story. You're surrendering your healing to someone else's choices. The key to your freedom has been in your pocket this whole time, not in changing them, but in transforming how you show up in the world. The universe will keep delivering the same lessons with different faces until you finally embody it. That's not punishment, it's persistence. And let me tell you, the universe has been very persistent with me. Even when I'm kicking and screaming, it just waits with patience and allows me to enter into the experience with my willingness. The universe loves you too much to let you miss the lessons. The most difficult truth, your healing is 100% your responsibility, even when the wound wasn't your fault. Yet on the other side of this discomfort, that's where your authentic living is waiting. Because when you own your patterns, you can transform them. When you recognize your triggers, you reclaim your power to respond rather than react. Let's create a sacred pause together that I call mindful moment. Wherever you are, take a breath with me. Deep into your belly and release. If it's safe to do so, gently close your eyes. Just bring your awareness to watching your breath. Now think of a relationship in which you've been feeling frustrated or stuck. Hold that person in your awareness. Take your right hand and place it on your heart. Simply notice what arises. There may be tension, heat, or heaviness in your body. All of these sensations are welcome messengers. You're safe to feel. You're safe to let go. Take another breath. And when you're ready, ask yourself, what emotions arise when I'm around this person? Just sit with that for a moment. Ask yourself, what truth am I afraid to speak in this relationship? Give yourself time to hear your inner wisdom. Now ask yourself, what patterns might I be bringing to this dynamic? Your honest insights is a gift to yourself. Where you feel triggered is where you need to heal. Your reaction is your roadmap. Remember, these sensations are your authentic experience, but they're filtered through your own lens. Stay curious rather than certain. Take another breath and release. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and stay with your breath. If you felt a moment of clarity during that reflection, that's your intuition recognizing truth. This is the warrior work that changes everything from the inside out. The bravest thing you'll ever do is interrupt a pattern that was handed down to you as love. Looking at these patterns in new ways requires support and practical tools. That's why I've created what I call emotional sobriety practices, specific techniques that create safety for you to finally drop into your body's wisdom, allowing you to respond from your intuition rather than react from your protective patterns. In essence, it's about feeling your emotions without being controlled by them. You see, when emotions aren't felt, they'll hijack your behavior. I'm hosting my emotional sobriety workshop in 2 upcoming online sessions to accommodate different time zones. You'll discover the exact framework that transformed my relationship with difficult emotions and has helped my clients break free from the invisible pull of old patterns. In this transformative hour, you'll receive practical tools for understanding your triggers and a blueprint for radical accountability. The foundation that changed everything for me and countless clients who were stuck in cycles they couldn't seem to escape. Ask yourself honestly, a year from now, do you want to be having the same conversations, feeling the same frustrations, or are you ready to stand at the mirror's edge and finally see yourself clearly? Visit LiftOneSelf.com to register for the session that works best for you. Space is limited to ensure these workshops remain intimate and impactful. Until next time, trust the journey, especially when it leads you back to the most powerful person in your story, which is you. Next week, we'll explore the shadow side of self-care, when wellness routines subtly work against us. You know, when your thoughts keep racing during meditation, that's often your nervous system signaling unprocessed emotions beneath the surface. We'll explore how to transform these moments from frustration into gateways for genuine healing. Subscribe so you don't miss this crucial perspective. Connect with me on Instagram at LiftOneSelf or email info@LiftOneSelf.com with any questions about the workshop or any of my other services. Remember your mantra, healing isn't selfish, it's revolutionary. And remember, you're not alone in this work. We're in it together, reflection by reflection. We're all just walking each other home. Remember to be kind to yourself. You matter.